Hey, before we get on to the fun, I'll just quickly jump in with a status update on the channel. So every April, I'm going to continue uploading podcasts, even if there's no Baki to discuss, because I think it's fun to just do these sort of prank episodes. And that's the case this year. There is no new Baki news since we've last talked. Baki Do's been announced, but there's no timeline. There can be years in between seasons of Baki, as we all know. So when it does come back, I'm very up for it. I'm planning to make new episodes the day it comes out, but or maybe the day after. Give me a little bit of time. The Monday at the latest. But until then, all I can say is that if there's no Baki content for a while, you'll hear from me next April. Also, the Anime Jukebox, if anyone was listening to that, there's, I think 7 of you were. First of all, big thanks. It was fun working on it. I think I'm going to be sunsetting the podcast. I have one more episode that I've recorded that I just need to get around to editing with my mom, where we discuss the Apothecary Diaries, which should be fun. But I found another outlet for talking about anime. I joined the Anime Awards, which was a real fun experience. Took like 4 months. You can see the results online. If you search Anime Awards and then scroll past Crunchyroll, you'll probably find it. Anyway, though, don't want to take up too much time. We do have a fun episode today. But yeah, TLDR, when Baki comes back, so will I. And I'll see you next April. Hello, and welcome back to Baki Talki, special April 1st edition. There's no prank, or if there is, it's on all of us. We just watched a great show. Does anybody even remember the name?
No.
I think it's Pillow Boys.
No, it's not.
Maku no Danshi.
That's close enough. This is a show that I have been waiting to find a reason to use, and I thought this is as good as one as ever. It's no Baki, but it's pretty close. So just a quick summary. Lindsay,
Can I give the summary?
Can you describe the show?
Okay, so it is basically 12 episodes that are all under 5 minutes, and it is you, the viewer, are first person in the episode, and each one is about a different, like, boyfriend-esque caricature who is, hi Johnny, who is putting you to sleep, but not really. It's just kind of like,
sometimes
pick your
we just
poison.
fall asleep.
Yeah, it's sort of a find the one. I think the idea is find the one you like best and listen to it or watch it before you go to sleep every night, and then you can interact with the boyfriend, for lack of a better word, the Danshi, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that was a good description. That's exactly what the show is.
Yeah, I should, you know what, before we get in, I should introduce my guests.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure anybody listening to the third April Fool's episode has heard you guys before. But, of course, Lindsay, my wife.
Yep.
And Matt, my friend.
Yep.
All right.
And Johnny, our dog, who made some noises there.
Special guest star.
And I'll ask a quick question, just to break the ice. Lindsay, if you were a Danshi, what would your name be?
If I was a Danshi, Mommy Danshi.
Mommy Danshi. I love that.
Oh, that episode scares me already. That is
Yo, it'd be better than
scary.
half of these.
It would most certainly be more legal than half of these.
Well, so
She's
would
a
most
hot mummy.
She's a hot mummy.
It would make more sense why I'm putting you to sleep.
Listen, the competition's stiff with such Danshis as Delusions of Grandeur Danshi
Great one.
and Happy IRL Danshi. Big winners there. Those are hard archetypes to get down.
Matt, what would your one be?
Oh, goodness. What's so crazy is I actually felt like I resonated with Happy IRL Danshi.
But that's been taken.
I know, it did. So I'll just be Happy Happy NIRL, as in not IRL.
Well, that would
Danshi.
be confusing.
Just don't play our episodes back to back. It'll work out.
Oh boy. So this was an absolute blast to watch. We watched every episode. So Lindsay actually oversold it a bit. They're all 4 minutes exactly, and that's with a minute long.
Some of them are like 3, I think.
I think they were like 3:58.
Yeah, there's a theme song, and it's the same theme song, other than like one shot in it.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I don't expect a theme song to change from episode to episode.
Okay, but at the same time, I'm sort of just like...
In fact, I'm happy that they added all those extra shots of the Danshis in nude sleeping arrangements.
It's true. It's like bonus content. You got actually sleeping with some of the Danshis when really you're only in bed with one.
Yeah, because...
No spoilers.
Well, spoiler alert, we are a lot sleepier than these men.
We have narcolepsy, honestly.
I saw somebody comment about this. So the whole point of this show is you're supposed to role play as a sleepy girlfriend, and maybe watch this as you go to sleep. But that theme song we were talking about, it's pretty lively. It's gonna keep you up. Let me just play a little bit.
And then are we playing F, Marry, Kill?
I don't think I know who I'm killing, I think.
You know what? Let's go through, and we're going to do two things. We're first going to quickly touch on every Danshi.
Okay.
Then we're going to pick 3 to fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
And then we're going to pick the best and the worst.
Okay.
Ooh,
Wouldn't it just... Okay.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I guess it is a little similar. All right, we'll
Continue.
just do fuck, marry, kill, to be honest. Because that will cover who's the best
But will it
and
be
the worst.
Mary or... Anyways, sorry.
Yeah.
So, our first one, Mary Danshi, or Pillow Boy Danshi, or whatever. This is the face of the franchise, and they picked a bang.
僕エッチじゃないもん。嘘。いつでも言って。
Mary in bed, as I wrote down. We spend the whole episode in bed, just chatting about our day.
Well, actually, not our day.
Yeah, that's true.
Mary is waiting at home for us, and he says, "I saw a cat. It hissed at me."
So I hissed back.
I bet your day was really crazy.
You worked hard. I wanted to just be like, and you didn't, Mary.
He's gonna work hard.
Yeah.
He's massaging my ass.
Oh yeah.
It's giving house pet brought to life.
Yes.
Vibes.
Yes.
Like
He
like
is
a
a
fairy
cat.
Once you
godmother.
guys said he's a cat, I honestly think it is intentional.
I do too.
I think he's literally a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is just unbelievable. And you know what's so funny? We talked about this. They start off with Mary.
Yeah.
He's a great jumping point because you go, how much crazier can it get from
And it
this
does.
guy?
And Mary's the most, like, Mary is the most normal.
Yeah.
Mary's just a
Which
roommate
is so
who wants to
absurd.
massage your butt.
Well,
And
it's the
come
most
up for a big
straightforward
hug.
too. We come in, we see him, we've just come home from work, and then at the end we go to sleep because we're in a bed. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The relationship with Mary, like, are we fucking or like are we just roommates?
Well, it is funny that he's like, "Oh, hey, do you want to sleep together?" Like, second thing he says, but then he's like, "No, I'm not a pervert." Like, and I'm like, "Wait, are we? Oh, okay. Like, is that?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's happening?"
It's the situation that would be, I live in Manhattan, and this guy has a penthouse apartment, and this is
So
the
you
catch.
put up with him.
This is the catch. He's off daddy's money.
He's got to be a trust fund baby.
Yeah, he's a trust fund
Otherwise,
baby.
he does nothing but hiss at cats all day.
Mommy and daddy's money, but I don't pay a cent.
The main constant between the two Mary episodes is a different story.
Oh yeah, we haven't clarified.
They bookend.
Yeah,
Mary books in.
he is the first and last episode of the 12.
That's true.
But there are 12 Danshi.
But it's also...
even though there's...
Well, we'll come to that.
We'll get to the 12.
The last episode is almost a carbon copy of
But
the
it's
first,
like-
except Mary's in a sweater this time.
He also looks younger.
And he turns into a lamb.
That's the very... Spoilers. That's the end.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. And also, instead of hissing at the cat, he meows at it. But both times, it still just runs away.
All right. Moving along.
No,
to
I don't
one of
want to
our-
do number 2.
One of the most distinctive and favorite Danshi of them all. We have Senpai Danshi.
お、目覚めたか？今お前の家に向かってるところだ。
Tanaka.
Tanaka
I wrote,
Sosuke.
Boss man in car.
Boss man in car.
It all takes place in a car.
Yeah, you wake up
In
to
the
him
car.
staring at you.
And saying, wow, you got really drunk at that party.
Immediately, you wake up in a car, immediately gaslit that you're a drunk.
What do you
And
mean
he-
gaslit?
No,
Like,
it's clear that he is drugged.
Well,
I know, I recognize that, but
He's
like,
gaslighting. He's saying that you got drunk.
He's like, oh, you got
we
crazy
still might have gotten
at the
drunk.
gas
Oh,
pump.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's driving you home.
Well, no, we're in like some sort of Uber. Because
Oh,
don't
I
forget, there is another man in
The
this
best
There is
car.
another
part
man in
is
the
the
car.
driver.
It's
there.
so strange. It never cuts to him, but you're like, is this just... I just realized, do you think it's like Boss Man's driver?
Oh, it's like Big
That's
Boss
why-
taking you
that's
home
why
and his
he-
personal
That's
chauffeur.
why his personal chauffeur, that's why he's like, yeah, I've seen this 100 times.
I've seen, people get drunk at the Halloween party.
Every party,
It goes
Boss
crazy.
Man brings back a drunk girl.
Yeah.
Well, it's my favorite because they really weave a story here.
They do.
They really set you up. It's context. It's show not tell, but also just tell.
This is also,
Tell
I
you
think,
how
this,
much of a mess you are.
this is the first one too where they had a lot of moments where he asked us questions and then we were silent and then he answered as if we had answered and I was like, oh, are we supposed to be talking to him?
This one was a very Dora the Explorer.
Yeah,
Oh, I love this one, but
it's terrifying.
It's incredible. I just, it's funny. Some of the one Lindsay was right at that. Like we are the person, but sometimes you get gendered hard in the case. So
Well, we definitely realized after, because when we watched a bunch, that we are supposed to be a woman or a girl of some kind. But I was hoping with this one that we were not. Because just perspective as a woman, this is a nightmare scenario. Even if if he's your boss, it might be worse.
it's a while away, but I can't wait till we talk about librarian Danshi and who we are.
oh my god,
Who we've
spoilers
discovered.
for Librarian Danshi. But no, I agree. Like, if it's actually kind of a funny, chummy pals kind of thing. If it's two guys, the second it's a woman,
It's terrifying.
horrifying. HR must be involved.
Yeah.
HR's the guy driving.
Well, and then the best part too is that like he tells us the whole also, yeah, they do a lot of like weird flashbacks in a bunch of these. Like they just kind of tell us about their day.
He made
He
a
tells
mistake
him-
at work and he had to work real hard.
Which I don't really understand. I guess he's implying that us getting drunk was a mistake.
Well, I think he's saying that like, he's like, I may be a bad guy when I roofied you.
No, he didn't.
But I
I
worked
worked
really
really
hard.
I don't know.
The
That one.
company thanks me.
That one just, it's confusing. And then it ends with him going, go back to sleep. And we do.
In the car. Yeah.
Again, which is
I only
confusing.
woke up for 3 minutes.
Like,
It was like-
something is wrong with us.
The story it tells is you are either drugged or way too intoxicated. He wakes you up, chats at you for a couple seconds, and then you pass out again.
Yeah.
All right. So, Senpai Danshi is one of the classics,
Yeah.
and probably one of the most problematic stories. I think one of the least problematic, but
Oh, I
most
hated this one.
interesting.
I hated
is
this one.
Violin Danshi, or
No,
what was his name?
music
Music
Danshi.
Danshi.
姿勢を楽にしろ。いいのか？
Music Danshi has so much.
I just wrote
interesting things
piano
going on.
man with no music.
Well, so
Yeah.
we meet him. He's holding a violin.
He's like a teenager.
He's and apparently a teenager.
Yes, we're teenagers.
Well, we
That's
don't
what
know
I'm saying.
that.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's true. I'm assuming.
And
He's
he-
giving like a lesson to us.
Yes, and he seemed really good.
Okay, so when he's teaching us a lesson, he's like, honestly, close your eyes and just listen to the blissful music. And then the video cuts to his violin, and he plays a string.
A static shot.
No sound emerges. A
Yeah.
static shot of the violin.
With
no sound
no
emerges.
sound.
And then he goes, bask in the glory of
And we're
wonderful
supposed to have
music."
thought, wow, that was amazing.
Complete silence.
Complete silence.
Complete silence.
And then we don't talk about music at all anymore. And we talk about how terrified he is of spiders.
その悪魔の手先を退治する栄光をお前に与えよう
Then he tries to kiss us.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's interrupted is because a spider drops perfectly
Oh, yeah.
in between us.
I gotta say though, that spider part is my favorite part of any of the episodes because it paints the Danshi in this light where he's literally yelling at us, going, "Get the spider! Why didn't you get the spider?"
Yeah.
There's no.
You're too slow! Get the spider!
Like this show is supposed to be wish fulfillment before you go to bed, and in this one he's literally yelling at us because we
Yeah.
keep fucking up.
It was very confusing.
It's the Music Danshi one is really fun because it's like the worst improv you've ever seen at a rec center. They're like, music hall, and then they try to do music for 3 seconds, and then it's about doing a spider, and the episode ends
Well, but then-
with
no.
him going, just go to sleep.
Yeah, but that's the best part too, is that it started with him being like, don't go to sleep.
Tells you not
Hurry
to.
up, like, let's do your lesson. And then 3 minutes later, he's like, go to sleep. And I'm like, you just yelled at me and didn't play music at me. And
He missed the violin.
yeah, so that, I hated that one. I thought that was the moment watching that one where I realized this was going off the rails. Like,
I love that one.
There was no cohesion there.
What even was the fourth one? You guys have
The fourth one was Dialect Danshi.
Dialect Danshi.
Oh, the dialect. They couldn't think of a better name for this guy.
that was terrible.
Pure-hearted Danshi.
なじょしたでっけえ口上げであぐびして
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, we were on the subway in this one.
Yeah.
Same thing. We woke up and fell asleep. A little, you know what? That one, I've done that. I've woken up and fallen asleep on
It's
the
an
subway.
early morning to school trip.
Yeah.
It's true.
We've done our English
It's
homework.
true.
Dialect Danshi has not.
Has not.
And he is devastated.
I still think the best line,
Oh, your
because it
comment
plays
is
the
so
Dora of the Explorer part where it's like asking the audience, but we're silent, of course. So he goes, oh, I didn't do my English assignment. Break, break, break. Copy yours? I couldn't do that. And you're like, I didn't say anything. I just woke up. And now you're accosting me on the train.
It is much funnier if you imagine that we're not saying anything in the real scenario, and the guy's just going, "What?"
Well, like, guys,
I just,
let's not pick on Dialect Danshi.
He's ugly, man.
He's ugly.
Sorry,
he was the ugliest
really
one, I
was.
think.
He
might have
was.
been the ugliest
You
one.
guys are his classmates.
No, we're
You're the
not.
teacher who called him a punk.
Honestly,
Yeah,
good.
Well, Dialect Danshi just makes his own tale, and he tells us about it.
Yeah.
Where he's like, you know, school, I'm the new kid, and you're
I
the
didn't
only
want
one who talks
I
to
didn't
me.
want to be a country bumpkin, so I dyed my hair red. But then nobody else had dyed hair.
So I was even more of an outcast, but you still talk to me.
You're not afraid of me. I'm like, you're
Dialect-
the least scary thing ever.
Are you? Well, he did. Well, you're right because he did threaten to punch us.
Yes,
but
he
then
does.
he said, It was a joke.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We're in a public space, and he's like, I should hit you for that. Jokes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And then he's like, go back to bed. And I'm like, are you gonna hit me?
We're on our way to school, and he's like, go back to sleep.
Dialect Danshi, no.
Time to sleep. I'll copy your English assignment.
Yeah, so that one was honestly kind of lame.
That was very boring.
But
It was, yeah.
then they outlamed it with the next one.
Oh, who was the next?
Astronomy Danshi,
Okay,
which has the
Astronomy
biggest
Danshi.
reveal. That's the biggest reveal of the entire.
Oh, I don't know, second.
So, okay,
Librarian has the top.
Second biggest reveal.
Astronomy
That's true.
Danshi starts with a very close-in zoom up of his face as he talks to us about the stars.
まず目を閉じてください。星を見るのに明るさは邪魔ですから。
But eventually it zooms out. He's wearing like
He
a
has his
cocoon.
well, no, it's a sleeping bag,
Yeah.
but it's over his head. Like all you see is his face, and he is fully cocooned in his sleeping bag.
Well, his first dialogue in the thing is like, "Shut your eyes. The light keeps you from looking at the stars. Actually, then you can't see the stars, and we're here together."
Well, he doesn't say that. We said that.
Yeah.
How do we see the stars with our eyes closed?
He's all twisted, and then it just hard cuts to him in a caterpillar sleeping bag.
and then to this theme song.
And then directly to the theme song.
The best part, though, is that there's only one sleeping bag, and he
Yeah.
realizes that we're cold, and so they cut to this shot where he has draped it over his knees, so that theoretically we can also drape it over our knees.
Before that, he says, "Here, get in this." And so you think, oh, he's being sexy. And he goes, I didn't mean like that. We can't fit. And then you cut to him with it barely
On
over
his
his knees.
He offers it to us and then says, actually, never mind. None of us are going to have this.
Yeah.
And he undoing the sleeping bag, and he's like, I didn't even wear warm clothes because I brought this. And here we are, his date, going, why didn't you tell me we were going to be out in the cold?
Also,
know what?
he was mentioning how he brung us out here again. So we've just been continuously going out.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
and then he says, there's a meteor shower coming. Apparently that was a surprise, and we were just out there to freeze our ass
But we
off
fell asleep before that.
of hypothermia.
We didn't see the meteor shower.
Also, teases a telescope, reveal binoculars. We're
Well, that was
staring at
my
the sky with
favorite part.
binoculars.
Is it was such a boring. At one point, they just had him say a bunch of random star things that may or may not have been true. And Matt, you seemed actually interested in that, and then you were excited to see a telescope. And I remember just saying like, I think it's just binoculars, and you were so sad.
It was devastating. I was like, oh, they're actually going to teach us something? That's
No.
not a bad idea.
No.
He just made up stuff. He's like, if your thumb and pinky connect, that's Aquarius's Aurarius. And then that connects to, and it just keeps cutting to different things. And yeah, it's all gibberish. And then he goes, what, me annoying? No way. Terrible. Terrible date. Wouldn't do another date.
Yeah.
And then we just
High
go
on
to
the kill
sleep.
list.
And then we go to
That
sleep.
one made a lot of sense. We were bored. We fell
Yeah.
asleep.
Yeah.
That actually was canonical.
Although-
We're moving into the area of why are we falling asleep?
Which is important to each episode.
The next one was fun because I thought it was going to be boring like the other two. And then we realized that we were bullies.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So that made it
That's
much
true.
better.
The next one is the delusions
Or
of grandeur.
Chunabi, as you like
Chunabu?
to...
I think that's how it's
Chunabu.
pronounced.
Chunabu.
Chunabu.
I don't know.
何かが目覚めるかもしれない。
Yeah, this guy's an eye patch.
I wrote Sty Guy.
Canonically has sty.
So this guy's got a sty, which, you know,
Well, he's got an eye patch over it. We don't
might
see it.
It might mean something more dark and mysterious.
Well, he
find
hits
out.
to a horrible disease as he's like, yeah, the doctors think it's sty, but I feel there's something even worse
I think
happening.
he was actually meaning like a presence in him. Like I think he was going full.
Which is even worse. I mean, pick your lane. Mental health or physical health. Both are a concern at that point.
Also, we meet
Both.
him on the roof. Did we say that?
Yeah, he's on the roof.
Also,
of
there's
the
a
school.
cat. What happened to the cat?
Oh yeah,
The
what
cat
the-
just left.
It just it
More
knows
stuff to draw.
nothing good can happen from what's about to.
The cat probably went to go see our roommate.
Cat got
Hiss
pissed
at him.
off. So what did we do to this guy? I remember
So
we
we
called
tie
him
a bow.
short.
It starts by
Oh, yeah.
him lying sleeping. He's sleeping this time.
Yeah.
Roles reversed.
Yeah.
And we tie a bow on his wrist and he's like, what the heck? And then the episode starts.
Yeah.
And then
At one point, we try to touch his sty.
no, we do touch his thigh.
Oh, and he's like, "Whoa, don't do that! You might get
He's
it."
actually in the middle of reaching his hand out to our face and saying, I have trouble with depth perception.
Oh, yeah.
Poke his eye.
Yeah,
Poke
and then
his-
we poke his thigh.
Oh, good times. Good times.
There's
with
another thing we
delusions
do,
of-
and I
Well,
literally
we called him
can't-
short.
Oh yeah, we said something, and then he's like, "I'm still growing." We're
Oh
like,
my
what are we
God.
saying?
We really just bully this kid on the roof.
Delusions of Grandeur Daichi suck. We're gonna move on. Who is the next guy?
Innocent
The kid.
Daichi.
Oh,
this
fuck.
is the one. This is.
This was concerning in the theme song
But let me
because
give a-
you see all these like,
You
all
see
these.
all 12.
Yeah, you see all these like guys who are like uber like muscular, like all this stuff, and they're in sexy poses, whatever, in the theme song, and then you just have a kid.
くらえおてんぱスターデュクシデュクシデュクシヒュー
Who
And
we found out is innocent Daichi.
who we found out is 5. That's
we did find out
insane.
he's 5.
I was like,
Well-
at least make him like 12 or
Well,
something.
he's not just 5. He's a hot
my.
5.
So before each
No.
episode, after the theme song, it does a little like baseball card intro of the Daichi, and it gives like a one-line tagline. Like for example, I think Astronomy Daichi was like college student who loves looking at the stars. Innocent Daichi's was rambunctious, energetic, hot 5-year-old.
And the funniest part is nobody else is described as hot.
No one else.
Just this 5-year-old. Like maybe they didn't trust the art to get it across. They had to remind us, but ugh.
Well, I gotta say, it was more the reveal than anything else, like you were hinting at, Lindsay, because you watch the intro the first time and you're like, what the hell is that?
You're
Why is
hoping
that
you're
thing in there?
hoping that it's like maybe he's just like a young
Well, he's innocent,
tween or
Danshi.
like
Maybe we just fall asleep with an innocent boy.
yeah, no.
He's
Well,
hot.
And
He's
then,
hot.
but then remember, it gets very confusing because when we first get there, he's like, "Hey, Nene," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And
Give
then,
us the name. It's
yeah,
true.
and then we get there, and he's like, "I don't want to go to bed," and I'm like, "Am I babysitting? What's happening?" And then he's like, "Oh, snacks? I'll go to bed for snacks."
That was the biggest problem for me is there's no sense of who we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
We
then
know that his
later.
grandma's downstairs.
But then
and
later
we're
he's
just
like,
chilling
"Well, you
outside
can
with him.
you can be the pink Power Ranger, and I'll be this." And I'm like, "Wait, are we also a kid?" Like, and then we go to sleep together. Wait, no, we go to sleep before him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
he's like, I'll watch you.
So we're like, Wait, are we the babysitter? Are we the baby?
And here's the thing, this is the first episode where we're hard gendered. He's
Yes.
using she's, and
Yeah.
like, you're the pink Power Ranger. Like, it's very,
Yeah.
he's trying to play a role, but it's so crazy.
We know that he was in the park. I think he was getting bullied by kids.
God, I didn't even
those-
listen.
yeah.
I couldn't even listen.
5-year-olds.
That's
But
true. Oh,
I
he
just-
smashed a watermelon greased up.
Yeah.
That's the story he tells us.
I didn't understand any of that.
That's a big Japanese thing. But
No, I just meant I was too weirded out by everything else to pay attention.
I assumed that we just met him at the park and came home with him.
Stop saying that.
That's what happened.
Steve has said this like 5 times and I hate it every time.
I think-
Don't do that, Steve.
I'm not saying I'd do that.
Yeah, Gwen said don't do that, Dad.
Gwen senses a disturbance in the force.
All right, moving on.
Happy
next up-
IRL.
Yeah, we have Happy IRL Danshi.
This guy was...
Mixer Danshi.
Well, so both Matt and I agreed that he was drawn the most sexy.
It's true.
ういっす。何やってんの？
He's in a college. He's the one who knocks on the window when we're eating our lunch at college.
He's the one we have to sneak into the cafeteria because he didn't buy the meal plan.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I will say it does a good job of doing college vibes in the
does.
sense that some random person tries to become your best friend to get an advantage of your food hall or something.
Yeah.
You
liked the mixer.
I love this guy. One of his descriptors was loves his cell phone and loves mixers. I think every other line was about a mixer he was going to. He's like, gonna go to this mixer, but it crashed out, and then got invited to this other mixer, but it was boring, so went to this mixer.
Well, don't want to go to class because I got a
Well,
mixer.
no. He got out of class early because the lecture ended early.
No,
for him.
yeah, for him.
Yeah, for him.
But the thing that killed me was, so the phone thing was so accurate. He kept like looking down at his phone while talking to us and stuff. And I don't know. Maybe this is a woman's perspective again, but like, how is this?
So true.
What am I trying to say? How is this someone you want? Like, how is this a?
Maybe if you're at college, nobody's banging on the window to say hello to you.
You're just you want a
wish
guy
you
who
had the courage to go to mixers. This guy's gonna take you to the mixers
Yeah,
so you can meet another.
But my
man.
point is, somebody created this concept for some girl out there. Why did she
This
want him to
is,
be staring at
I think,
the
an
phone?
older person's perspective on how young people interact.
That is the
in
only way it
colleges.
makes sense. You are
truly.
right.
And always talking about mixers. Like, this was
Yeah,
truly
mixers.
written from something. Because at first he's like, oh, it must be lunchtime because you're eating.
You're in the
Like, hey,
lunchroom.
thanks. Yeah.
Coming off a 37-hour bender. Like,
Well,
does not know
the
what
best
that
part
is.
too is at the end when I'm like, "Are we just gonna fall asleep at the table?" But then he's like, "There's some grass over there. Let's just go have a nap." And I'm like, "You know what? That actually sounds like college. Like I did that.
He actually,
Slept on
yeah,
the
does
grass.
something.
You know,
In the
if
middle
like
of the day, just passed out on the grass.
maybe not the grass, but I definitely slept. Well,
I studied.
do you
when I
want
was
to
a
hear an actual story? So
No.
in my lectures, because my best friend at the time was in a wheelchair, and so she had a separate spot she could get to the lectures. So there was a really good spot to lay down, and the teacher couldn't see you. So sometimes I would just be like, "You got notes for a while? Great, I'm gonna take a little nap."
That is so
And you would sleep in the spot?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're happy IRL Danshi. And you're going to mixers, you get up, you're like, on to the next mixer.
I
It's
mean,
mummy IRL. Okay. Moving on to one of my favorites.
はい。どんな本をお探しですか？
It's
Oh.
Librarian Danshi.
Oh, I
This is a top
hate
tier
him.
Danshi. This is a top tier
What?
Danshi. Yeah.
he's the
Librarian,
worst.
he hates you too.
He does hate us.
He
It's
hates
kind of a
everyone.
it's kind of a necking or negging? What's that?
Negging.
Yeah,
Negging.
negging.
Necking is a different
It is a library.
I'm with the kids. I'm seeing people.
So the Librarian Danshi.
Like nothing happens.
Well,
That's the worst part.
There's the
We go
Well,
into a
something happens.
So
library.
there's the inexplicable part where, first of all, our character's so lame that they have a book that says, I think, 23 exciting things.
To live a more exciting life.
Yeah.
And then he literally is like, "Oh, you want to have a more exciting life? Here's a book for you," and gives us a book that literally says kittens, and then says it's a book about kittens.
I worried
It's a picture book of kittens.
I had worried that Gwen is too old for that book.
Yes.
Like, it's literally just pictures of kittens.
Yeah.
Well, Library Danshi is a very exciting one because at first he hates you.
Yeah.
The intro is he goes, yes, what do you want? Are you looking for a book? And then it cuts to the title card like,
Meanwhile, he's putting the last book of the Barbie Encyclopedia.
It's like the pinkest book you've ever seen.
The thing is, it's a row of 30 pink books.
Well, and the other thing too is when he wakes us up, he's like, "You can't sleep here.
Like,
we're closing. Get out,
you're disturbing people with your sleep."
And literally 1 minute later, he's going, "You got to go back to bed."
Yeah. How about you take a nice little rest? We're best friends
Read your little
now.
kitten book and then take a nap.
But see, that's the thing. He leaves breadcrumbs because he tells us a story of patrons who come to the library and he loves that they love books, but we always see is a little girl. And as you look back on what he's done and how he's talking to you, you kind of go, am I the little girl?
I honestly think yes for like.
We questioned it all. We thought about the fact that maybe the innocent Danshi was the only one that was appropriate.
If we've always been a 5-year-old
Have
girl.
we always been a 5-year-old girl?
This is the Act 3 twist. We have been a little girl the whole time.
Okay, talking about twists.
This is the worst one.
I love you wrote down it as twin flowers.
Well, kind of.
Is there a second plane of it? The twin flower.
Sir, a second flower
It's been lost in his
has been lost in this man's kimono.
おはよう、姉さん。慌てなくても、まだ夜半ですよ。しー、騒ぐと誰か来る。
I also just wrote WTF next to it because I honestly I'm out. You guys talk about this one.
This one was fucking wild, man.
Yeah. Thanks for putting it on me, guys. Okay, let me set the stage. Everyone's having fun. We're all having laughs.
Where are we?
Well, first of all, we awake in a dark basement. It is a dark basement, and these piercing yellow eyes, these two sets of eyes are piercing through, and they go, oh, look what stumbled down here. Oh, no. Alone with the flower, guys. And you were in big trouble earlier today. And then you cut into the title card. So you're immediately horrified and scared.
But you think they're gonna like come back from it because sometimes they're creepy openings. No,
like,
they never.
By Danshi.
Well, the very first thing they mention is they go, "You're as beautiful as a flower," like or something like that. And then it's like, "Oh, unlike the pussy willow." They just like throw out.
You like Pussy Willow.
Yeah.
I like Pussy Willow.
They actually say you like
and
Pussy
we're
Willow.
They say you're like giant pussy willow.
Oh yeah, and then we're kind of looking at each other like this is an accident, right? Every other time it's been sexual, it's been on by accident. But no, they keep going.
No, they really do. I mean, like it's really just creepy stuff. Like they don't shy away from it.
Yeah.
But I would say above and beyond, like above everything else, I mean, at one point they go, look at this leaf, and they hold a little maple leaf, and they go, we're gonna play a game that we play all the time. I know, Canada. They all tie it back. We're gonna play a game called Hide the Leaf. Instantly, fear, a shiver down your spine. You go, what do you mean hide the leaf? And then they proceed using each other's hands, putting it in each other's kimono in a secret spot.
And then they tell you to find the leaf. And they're like, why don't you want to find it? You just saw us hide it. Like,
it's going to be easy. Exactly. And then they find it.
Which implies to me that our character, the Watcher...
whatever.
We are as terrified as we three watching are.
I think they realized for this one that it was creepy.
Yeah. They had to.
Yeah. It's not like the other ones.
It's horrible. Yeah, and then you end up being like, they go like, I guess you have to stay the night, and then it ends. And that was.
They imply they're gonna put the leaf in you next.
That's right. It's your turn to hide the leaf.
I don't know.
They do say put the leaf in you. They do say that.
I don't know if they meant clothes or what.
All right, we're moving on.
They also had like whips.
Horrifying.
They did have whips, little
in
flowery
there.
whips.
They were like, you got in trouble earlier, and then the scariest thing, Steve, had to have been the moment when after they've had a bunch of talking to us and we're apparently shitting ourselves, they go, "Oh, when you act scared like that, we like it." And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm out.
They really, there's no subtext there. It's
No,
just they're the
they
worst.
are rapists.
All right. Oh yeah, twin rapist Danshi, as you described them.
Yes.
All right, number 11. This one was Return to Form. Our good friend Food Stall Danshi.
That's the worst part. Is he's the best.
Yeah.
仕事中のビールはうまいなんちゃって
This is one of the best, if not the best one. No spoilers.
Yeah.
But
Why?
it's
We're talking about it.
It's true.
Smile away.
It's such a hard flip because you're taking a cold shower after the last episode, and then this warm, loving man who is just
undetermined age,
but is old enough to have the black lung. He laughs too hard and keeps coughing. And he's like, sorry, I'm old.
But then
he shows his scars, which he implies
on
are
his
like
stomach.
a battle scar that he goes, actually, this is from an appendicitis.
But also then, while he's showing it, he pulls up his shirt and shows you his, like, ripped abs.
He's so ripped, more than any of the other kids. He lifts up his shirt and it's, like, glistening.
You could put him in a fight against 10 pillow or Mary? 10 of Mary. And
I don't know if he's just more appropriate age than a lot of them, but he's the only one I found, like, I would like, listen to this before bed.
I did also love how we've gone back to being a hopeless drunk who falls asleep at the food stall.
It's true. We start the episode off by being like, oh, you're really drunk. You should sit down and eat something. So I love that we are canonically
But you know what? This time when he's like, go to bed, I'll take care of you. I'm like, I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was a nice guy.
He does a few. He really digs a hole with. He's like, this is a creepy alley. You really shouldn't be here alone.
Oh yeah, and then what does he say? He says, "What's that? There's a creepy man in front of you."
I'm
oh
the king
me?
of creeps.
I'm the king of creeps.
I'm the king of creeps.
What a great guy.
Yeah,
but it's endearing
funny.
and he's hot. He's so ripped and hot, and he gives you free food.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a win-win.
One last episode, but it's really we've already talked about it. So.
Yeah, we did.
So we've covered.
It's Mary.
It's Mary again.
Mary times 2.
12 episodes. We get married twice, but the twins are in one episode. So there's 12 Danshi. We are all going to choose to fuck, marry, or kill one of the 3 of the Danshis. So let's start with we'll start with the least offensive one. Which Danshi will you marry?
Oh, it's gotta be food stall for me.
I have to agree. I think it has to be food stall.
I'm going with musical Danshi.
You're
now,
crazy
question.
for marrying
I'm
musical
assuming
Danshi.
you're aging him up a little bit?
Yes.
No, in this scenario, you're high school sweethearts.
I am.
Okay,
you're a high
I
school.
see.
Yeah.
And in this scenario, I think I would have a very fun life. Trying to figure out what the fuck musical Danshi is getting up to.
Dealing with a real phobia of spiders.
I'm also imagining that you are deaf. And that's why you can't hear his music. Yeah.
That's the secret twist.
But he doesn't know. He doesn't know you're deaf. So he just thinks you're just like, wow. You're like, wow, your music's beautiful. And he's like, wow, I must be amazing.
I love your music. I'm so good at this.
Yeah. All right, now the fun one. Who are we going to fuck of the 3 Danshis?
I mean, it can't be Mary. He's a cat.
Okay. On first thought, I think Happy IRL, because I think he is the hottest.
You know what?
He'd be a bad fuck. I think he'd be a bad fuck. You know who'd be a great
The
fuck?
librarian.
Senpai Danshi.
No, I can't.
In the back of the car, we would just be animals on each other. He turned to me and he'd go, "You drunk bitch." And then we just start absolutely going crazy. It would be hot. The driver just listening. There's an element there of the driver just listening. Uber or his chauffeur, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going crazy town on each other. It's the Halloween Christmas party fusion in November.
I guess you're already drunk.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
just
already
ready
drunk.
to go.
I'm just gonna...
Alright, who's yours?
I think the obvious one for me is food stall Danshi.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm going librarian.
Ugh.
As much as I dislike him, that's why I picked the fuck and not Mary. Because I do think, it's one of those situations of like, I don't know, you've already got a library at your disposal. He seems like, he doesn't get out a lot, so he might be like...
Read this passage.
Freaky, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Freaky.
He might be a little freaky.
He's going to call you kitten.
Oh, yeah, you're so right. He is going to call you kitten.
All right.
Is that you revealing my likes and dislikes, or is that...
I just assumed you wouldn't want this creepy librarian to call you kitten. All right. Last thing, we have the kill. So you can only kill one Danshi.
That's the hardest part.
You can't kill both of the twins.
With one bullet, I can't put them side by side and just absolutely try to my best.
Find the bullet.
Yeah, I would maybe... if I could only pick.
What if someone said the kid?
Well, I would
him
kill
out
the
of
kid
his
to
misery.
free him from this prison. That's why I would kill him.
Yeah.
Because that is hell on earth. Hot 5-year-old is a title no one should have ever. That is, you die. You die as a hot 5-year-old.
All right. You going with the twins? Or a twin at least?
Yeah,
Maybe they lose their power once there's not two of them.
I shoot one definitely, and then I try to claw the eyes out of the other one. I try to kill the other one the best I can before the police bust in and take me to jail.
Ripped. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, they'll definitely take me. I think actually.
Whipping you.
They're
They
gonna
have
be
those
like
flower whips. You start getting me.
All right, Steve, what's yours?
I'm killing astronomy dog.
He's so boring.
I'm out in the woods. Nobody's gonna.
You get away from it.
know. He also just fucked me over. Like, I'm gonna die of the cold. Only one of us can survive.
You know what? Fair.
Astronomy
Fair.
Danshi
That's
dug
survival
his
instinct.
Yeah.
I think I'm going Tanaka. I'm going the boss.
No.
I
Killing the
can't.
boss?
I can't get over how scary that would be.
It is super scary.
Like, I can't. And to me, that is the start of like a thriller horror movie where I need to kill this boss. So I'm not starting the movie. I'm just gonna kill him and figure it out later. Yeah. You know what? That's final answer.
All right. Wow, that was a fun episode of Baki Talk.
Good diversity through our. We all kind of agreed on the Mary, but
Oh man, what a show!
that's such a crazy show. Definitely worth a watch because it's 25 minutes of your life.
I'm gonna go give this a 10 out of 10.
No.
Don't
Well, and
make
then the
people
funniest
watch
part
it.
was that we found that other one after Roommate or something. So maybe that'll be next year.
There's a few other shows. There was that one about the drunk wife.
Was that when you were in it though?
No.
Oh yeah, I'm more thinking of
Shows
it
that-
is very funny, the Dora Explorer approach of you being in the show.
Yeah.
It implies that, like, how many times do you have to watch one of these episodes to know the time and the like when to respond and
Yeah. Any last thoughts?
Kill the twins.
Yeah.
Please kill them. They cannot be free.
All right. Well, that's all the Danshi we've got to talk. So I'll see you all next year, unless they make more Baki. Bye.
Bye.
生きるお前が笑われて楽に生きる奴らが得をする世界で我だけはお前の